Tompi lulun bere itu. Itu raut ya di situ dulu. Ini baru servis baru kini nama kasu. Ini ahli suara pipi, main tes marane omu lale, main marane ninu taruh ninu main tes sadie main tes main air ada Timor ini main bere kini bere kaskona ini air dike hulara, Heru kini main bere fanlana fan, main air ba tasolo la filoli tu Heru bernisi ada te bere sidaer bernisi. Tufra mu ada karafatain me bere kataan isi iramisa. Araba kuda isi bere isi daimao waingone ini ada tever te pamela ini Heru te pagini dike te pahulara. Aelino aldarno kone te pa. Tai haler ener inomene ada Timor ini bere nom gini. Dike re maites maran nin tarni maites ini mene sa ada Timor re main la ini. Mansa kona nere asilulu nao bere. Obrigado. Benando tuna itu.
Ulu kitanya avosira la foli mama. Lorong ikus mai ita bolu mau ngali. Ulu kitanya avosira la foli mama. Lorong ikus mai ita bolu mau ngali.
Ami mai apresenta amnia tebe tebe.
Ulu kitanya avosira la foli mama. Lorong ikus mai ita bolu mau ngali.
Oi matan si urare operam. Aites kau tites tu par feram minue.
This ceremony is a recreation of an ancient legend. It tells a story handed down by the village's ancestors. The performers are all wearing traditional cloth known as Tais. The cloth itself is often sacred, and symbols represent important stories and beliefs. In this community and others in East Timor, Tais are often used as a contract between groups and as a spiritual device to bring harmony. This ceremony tells a story of how the village ancestors came to East Timor from another land. They travelled by boat and landed in a place called Kamnasa on the south coast. Journeying inland, they climbed the tall mountain of Luanda Oman and finally settled in Iliomar in the southern highlands of East Timor. Tais breathe life into the many traditions in East Timor. They are a symbolic exchange of unity between families joining together through marriage and clothe the bodies of those passed on.
Kita umana kwando askoiru mahama adeba ehla orang tua mai neko kita ma neko kuda di karbo di mai tuto ita mata ya kuda ya karbo ya si ya klawa nuka yala kita ama urus kita laria ya ruan olo ya ruan krabi ya ruan barai nuka kita lakain toila musin lalen ya ruan krabi se waime kaitelu iluai se dekululu se krabi nuku se mahila krabnuku kita tahikai iluai no deklul se deklul kita nutan au deno kita mimintai kita tahikai se iluai no krabnuku nuka kita alhai wai alhai kai lama askese kita alan malalen. Hele kita mimi, hele kita war kita kaka. Sino nara kita ana saihiana. Yero iliwai deklu kita ana saihiana. Laka iskola, laka malarian ila Timor-Leste et matenek et tadwasi. Nuka naine hema adap.
Adat is a word used throughout Southeast Asia. To most East Timorese, Adat is a vital tradition that must be passed on. Virtually all is lost if these traditions are somehow interrupted, as the rituals pay respect to the land and spirits who have given life for so long. In a traditional Timorese home, this means that Tais are constantly in demand, and so weavers play an important role in the spiritual life of their communities. They are custodians of symbols and motifs that have been passed on through generations, and they keep traditions alive by sharing their knowledge with younger women. The process to weave traditional Tais is all done by hand. The raw cotton is pounded with sticks to separate the fibres and remove the seeds. It is then hand spun into long lengths of thread. To have enough thread for a small traditional Tais, a weaver has to spin around 2,000 metres of raw cotton. An intimate understanding of nature is required to build up a full palette of colour and pigment, as all the ingredients come from the local area within nature. The ornate and delicate colours of Tais are created through a rough process of bashing and pounding organic materials into raw cotton. Like the recipes for creating different colours, the mortar and pestle have been in families for generations. This weaver is submersing dyed cotton in mud gathered from the riverbed because it helps to seal in the dye. The knowledge of traditional dyeing is under threat and could one day be lost. As the East Timorese economy changes, weavers are also weaving with imported cotton, and in areas like Iliomar, the high altitude makes cotton growing difficult. So often, the naturally produced cotton is reserved for Tais that have a specific sacred purpose. One of the more complex dyeing methods is known as futus in East Timor and ikat in other parts of the Malay archipelago. It is a tie-dyeing process, and patterns are created by wrapping sections of threads before they're woven into ties. The process is repeated depending on the complexity of the pattern and the number of colours to be combined.
Mutin mian metan. Kasi mutin, kasi hotu mutin te infaliba ayuen halamian. Halamian hotu lobang faliba ayuen metan, halametan fali. Kore fali hiri hotu kasi ne sai fali. Mutin ho metan ho mian. Lema koi dari fali futus tiha fali sai Tais sana sana.
Asini Mariana da Costa, as família keluarga muterta, keluarga ini amfata. Anyasu isi so tini Heru ini ka
para lulu ya dua macam ya mana ini sih so tinnya su lol ser napa teverinya su ate fufu wai na punya sare kuda wai am lafu itu flar fi ami puna na hile ta vai testru marana au di fama testru veri ma lol ser po fi so tini meli-meli vai era na o mala tam arna fata finya su verna langsung oleh doma testru heru. Anin di lor nata. Asine kita da costa. Asimatara amdohu tuframe namirana mfata. Asine na fanumune amuna sinan rame ini Heru Ini sinirame Heru Ini waitesa nyaslane Heru Ini dikular fana sinirame kin wan waitan taane mere enan mi punani waitan nyasa sinira Heru me bemot waitan tamere okawe meeting gini ni waitan maen. Aire erfani kinau lo serore veirau se vi Heru erfanar mara Meli-Meli si wan fata vernis kau heke wan si amuna siniran meni ni fana fata watin ma ini verna aire in Heru ai veirau.
Dua te putri ni.
Asne Viana Ferreira. Asimata Mei. Aseira Ruli Marespa. Aire soteme anini snetin Heru anima en me ginisi non ba berla ni o ma on Heru ren ba kofta baite aniga suisuma. Antu asa dere kaeli ni baite es misero ki Meli-Meli. Letra Meli berlana antu asa kaeli ni baite misero na ni ma ini ni baite es erban aire pandera kini sakiro wala kini ni pata se mutu ai besa no baite es mini. Así lo fue estere soputali me katai pore maina uteber batver te parfani sakona sulo fun sit parfani sulo fun a esta fatane aso remsonte onis meni tufa ni rama
Mereka aire ba inwa grupo ginere Meren inere umafani inere anare sa si upara si nira si para kasiani inere sekolah kan umele papara. Le papara ni aire marani na ole premi sawan sare tarfanu inere grupo aginer si matara ri sekolah ta waita meni la aine grupo me la aine ni waita si matarta kilafu ka kau turlan fanyan.
Ini kena na aren beri problem ma keluar kena na aren beri ini mana telefonin ma ho onde sila aning kinua kike onde se beri si ba ino mora fata beri ini ma keluar ko urun beri si ba beri onde se beri menu melole lolo mara problem na beri ona apa fima tar ba antala iskolan ma kas osana nere anta kilolo ai ma wa ini antala los palus telefonin di sekolah kilolo mano sa melan onde osana na fata Bere ini bere me ini tai kalau lona fane anta keluar ke se bere lo ma te probably mana ani bere asal kon no nya servisu kini ni in grupo kini servisu kini osan ma fata probably mare be ana ka.
Berta told stories of soldiers forcing her family to leave Iliomar in the 1980s, and when they returned, their homes and fields were destroyed. Since the Middle Ages, 3 occupying powers have laid claim to this sleepy half-island and tested the courage of its people. The Portuguese were first to rule, then Japan took control during World War II. Once the war was over, Portugal returned until 1974. Indonesia would be the last and most brutal power to lay claim to this tiny nation. For 24 years, the East Timorese were forced to wage a courageous struggle for independence. Marcelina and others like her were driven to stand up against the scores of injustices happening all around them. With little resources, they would go on to be a major support to a tiny but well-rooted movement.
Hau tinan walu hau to ai larang. To ai larang, hau ia ai larang hau nia responsables mak, responsables o peso tate. Juventude nia. Ami hasuru be hau nia line 86. Be 82 ami começa a situação semana sona, ne mana sona, ne ami la ala bela ne. Loron italani inimigo hare ita, papa sira hare ita pitirona. Ne mak loron ami laba, kala makam sempre pa.
Marcelina's husband was a fighter with Falentil, the armed wing of the resistance. He was forced out of his command in the jungle when his parents were captured to be used as ransom for his surrender.
Avanza Valentin, forza da libertação, neonida laranida, funu banafati, funu buka dalam diak dalam liberdade. Hey, ukun rasika, fiarida to dan tebe, sei fakara di susah, sei lori lere komedanti. Habis.
When speaking with weavers like Marcelina, it became apparent that many were involved in the clandestine resistance. In complete political opposition to the Indonesian military, the movement saw the capture, torture and death of many of their peers. For the survivors, the struggle for freedom is a living memory.
Atividade de efeito resistência ini ajuda a manter o Valentim a sua ensira. Halo produção e husinia ponto dalam rumah hetang kabas Timor Makari kibidane halo koro ioimba surtai soba suku casa hofaro atividade efeito resistência ini makane halo clandestina tambah halo funo to 75 até 2000 ne tamba atu defende niaan atu defende rai Timor idane atu hakara kamrik mesak atu kon na saune at Timorone telebeik mos am lakoi ona na sanselseluko atu ami atu lakoi na sanseluko atu maitana taulima mos am lakoi atu mai aku ukun Timorone mos am lakoi tamba idane mak hau hari kurubu idane tau naramba matresto. Atu defende raidane maluk sira mate heuton mate ba raidane. Atu hakara ke ukun rasika. Tambah dane mak narang tau naramba narang kurubu dane matresto. Matresto dane la oso. Atu tau konselu ida deiti nia narang muslai, postu nia narang deit muslai. Atu tau narang dane nasional tomak. Nemak hau tau narang kurubu narang matresto.
East Timor emerged from the ashes of occupation as an independent country in 2002. Most of the women featured in this film formed bonds long before independence, and their weaving groups have names that reflect the past and the lives of loved ones lost. Many of these women are widows of the occupation and are raising their often large families alone. For them, weaving offers a path out of poverty, and together they aim to overcome their violent past and preserve their cultural heritage for future generations.
Olinda da Grosso. Aira rufa tresiafo. Matam fata. Heru Ini Fetokiak buka moris. Sotina silafun veren Heru Ini. Sote veren ini fulin Heru Ini. Maun malai maun teuhin veren ina sosan me mau seren ini wamin lafu kini. Muana mainin metamadar. Karena kau mainan. Dan fulin si revisun osanete sidai mau ini mini persi segina. Anta kultura erevantin Iliomar si kultura erfanin Heru Ini kidehulara ma ire ini ana me tu selara ne sinira ba misa afan kinere ni sa ire kauna na bari man sinoni sore me la aini ma ini no eta kultura tan Spanish la anakas.
This is a film taken by the Portuguese poet and civiculturalist Rui Sinati in the 1960s. The dancing featured here occurred in the area where Olinda was interviewed. Olinda might have seen a ceremony like this when she was a child. The earthy colours of the Tais worn by the women and men are distinctly from the eastern, inland and coastal areas. Particular patterns and motifs signify clan and ethnicity all across East Timor, and Tais embody the diverse cultural languages of the island. These ancient practices have survived for centuries. Alongside the Catholic faith, which was brought to East Timor during the Portuguese colonial rule, sits the traditional belief that the soul of the ancestors returns to the land, to the mountains, to the rivers, and to the trees. The ancestors and the land are the source of life. Many Timorese believe that a balance between the living and those who have passed on must be maintained through ceremony to pay tribute to the ancestors and to promote social harmony within the villages. Tais are integral to these old beliefs. By making and wearing tais, East Timorese weavers helped keep their culture alive.
Sirala ehene ye larane haula tene mesi la estraga mesi dalla Roma estraga cultura Timor ni nene uyu ne lingua sareal maka cultura Timor ne lian foi de date mak bulhut balingua cultura Timor mas ne uyu estrama cultura Timor estraga cultura Timor ma ne hanesa moris ne sirene hakarak ne halu Timor hutu ne moris mus hanesa sirene moris mais Timor ne lakuidan Timor ne hakarak ne cultura Timor ne sempre cultura Timor ne cultura binação se ne la vel tau hatama tamba cultura Timor.
Asisne terfan. Ini re grupo no makin isimatara re sekolah se kultural mulfa. Nase koni nere grupo kini. Vete simatara tana atepa ini malino tani se reva kultura re na atep mutulafuna kon kultura arba kona te pamela aina ka sona ta kau mainan. Nana fata kultura Timore mulfa. Nase te pamela aini na kona na kau maina ka servisu. Arika vantai lolone kultura Timor. Anta fimatare turula fuhanare. Anta vere siva in srivisun ma ini kultura vermen la aina. Hana tu jelare nis fika uhai mun mesa. Pokoknya ma ini rata tepa ma ini misana. Fuli ini vere srivisu lever fane. Anta nala mutin lolon OMT la fu. Ari ni sinio ni lolon anta grupo ponis OMT fane. Ane raka meta fana na kama ini. Fimatare rota kau ma ini. Fi kultura ta orang bolu nakasu. Namakan mena reva adat salala fioni sere ko pau main wan sinis vere molu ni si fi fiar nombe vera kau fiari sidai kultura relani nis kimuto ni sakaulan edukasi katala an ser filis la fuerau ini si soten grupo ila fuere ni kultura me la ina kaso ini si sotes kultura tata fanus lana ni si sote verefano.
Huh.